Hello, this is Friendly Cat, and we will be playing Sweden today. A couple weeks ago, I got a comment asking me to complete Eternal Nordic Empire, please. I've never done that before, so I figured, sure, let's give it a shot. For those who aren't familiar with it, it's not an achievement. We need to play as Sweden, go to the bottom of the monarchist path, and then effectively do a world conquer. We need to control parts of Germany, Russia, our core countries, parts of Africa, Caribbean, and the United States. So let's give it a try. It shouldn't be too bad. As we open up to one of our first decisions as playing as Sweden, I'm going to want to take the top option. I think it's because it helps us flip later on into the Albion Fellow later on. We will continue on down to the radio focus. This is again pretty straightforward. I do suggest if you're playing this on historical that you do kind of follow along. Germany has a civil war. That's kind of unfortunate. As you probably heard me say before, if you watch my other videos, I prefer a fascist Germany because it causes problems for other countries. With our first 100 political power, I'd say definitely improve worker conditions. Again, all of what I'm suggesting for the first 5 minutes of this video, we would do the same on historical. Once we pick up radio, let's jump on over to government, I think weapon contracts, and we want to click the decisions on the radio so that it will improve non-aligned support. We need non-aligned support and we need war support to click some of our items down below. Looks like we've got an Austro-Hungarian Empire forming. There's a possibility we'll see a Central Powers back in action, but let's keep an eye on that. After government weapon contracts, we want to eventually head down to the Forum Saab, and so we'll take the Bofors fly swatter. UK is revisiting colonial policy. They're going to try to go communist. Okay, that's interesting. Well, we like that, but that means they will release parts of Africa, which will make our job a little bit more difficult, but we'll make it work out. All right, after Bofors fly swatter, we want to take the Forum Saab. Our goal here is to raise war support. We've got a war support gate later on. This is the fastest way to make that happen, and particularly for an historical, you are on a timer. You you really want to move down that path as fast as you can before Russia or Germany attack you. Of course, we want ahistorical either, but as we take an advisor, we want to take the advisor with the plus political power and resistance. We've already taken the army advisor that gives us army XP and percentage army increase. So we're going to have a lot of army XP when we go into our war. Continuing down, we eventually need to go down that left side, so let's do the prevent the red dictatorship. We have now already passed our first war support gate and we're moving right along. Now because our stability has dropped below 68%, we're going to get this public unrest timer. Don't worry, we're going to move through it. We're going to be in that timer for large parts of the game, but we will complete and end the timer before we ever get to strikes. We'll be firing off anti-fascist raids, which will temporarily lower our base stability, but overall increase it by 2.7% because we do time it for the start of the week. All right, Germany. I'm checking out Germany's focus tree. They are going to go central because the democratic part of the tree is not visible. That means they will not go democratic. That's pretty good. All right, on the way to undermine the fascists, just continue to move along. It looks like Germany will be forming a Central Powers equivalent today. We want to take popular figurehead, and when we take that, that pushes our stability above the 68 or 268%, and that means we will lose that potential for strikes, at least right now. After undermine the fascists, just continue to race your way down to appeal for support. We're moving very quickly down our tree, and we're actually doing pretty well. After that, let's meet with the king. There's only, as far as I can tell, only one real way to get down to the bottom, to that bottom of the monarchist path. So let's do it. Fascist Japan. I haven't really kept an eye on them. This is good. We like a fascist Japan. Fascist Japan will go to war with other countries. They're going to crush China, but then they will eventually attack other countries as well because an ahistorical China generally doesn't form its faction, so it's pretty weak. Onwards to another cool little focus that will give us more non-aligned support. We are going to eventually rally the rural folk because we need non-aligned support. Finland went into, that's not good, a civil war. That's really unfortunate because I can peacefully take Finland, but when they go into civil war and they're fascist, there's a reasonable chance Vapsid Estonia is involved with it, that fascist Estonia. Oh well. As rural support swells, that gives us that 10% non-aligned, which helps us reach our 65% non-aligned minimum requirement for a later on focus. So that's why we need to rally support. Onwards to King and Council. Again, that has that 65% minimum non-aligned support, and because we took radio so early, we're able to make that happen. We're now going to spam out a bunch of infantry divisions. We're going to try to take some of our friends, our neighboring countries, by peace, but we want to have a large army. Primarily, the primary factor in whether they approve is whether they are in a faction. So as long as they're not in a faction, they'll probably say yes, but a large army helps out as well. Soviet Civil War. That's always so weird, interesting to me. And we're also going to be building eventually 27 width, so 25 width generally without a medium tank, and then 27 width. Because we took superior firepower doctrines, we can actually reform and form divisions really easy. That's why you're seeing so many divisions on that left side, because I used the superior firepower doctrine military. Italy has done its own faction. Okay, so the world is now shaping up. Italy went at least semi-historical. They're fascist. And Vapid, Estonia has now joined. That's going to be problematic because we want Finland to core. On to the counter-revolution. All right, everything here has been pretty standard, but we're about to get into the real, I guess, the fun part, which is we can now take different focuses, and we're going to take Narvik Crisis first because I want Norway first. We will try to take a decision which will control them or take part of their land and then puppet them. And then we will later on be able to take another decision which converts them into our control. All right, with 100 political power, I think we take that rural support. That gives us 5 base stability. No big deal. Not very bad. And we have to take it anyway because they gave us support earlier. In my run, Norway caved. If they didn't, that's even better. Just attack them and destroy them. It's far better for them to say no than to say yes, which sounds kind of weird. But because they're not in a faction, even if you had a small army, they would still probably say yes. After you complete the next focus, they automatically become your puppet, I think. I don't even see an event. They just flip. And now we're going to take the bottom focus because for Norway and Finland, there's a 180-day timer to turn them from a puppet into your core and control. Oh my goodness. If you're having trouble following this, yeah, I have trouble following this as well. So we're going to click that decision when we have 100 political power. And then 180 days later, they go into our control and we core them, even if we haven't formed our formable nations. Yeah, that's how it works. Next up is Denmark, and the reason we're doing Norway and then Denmark is because the first of our formal nations is the Kalmar Union, I think. So if either one of them said no and we went to war with them, we would want to be able to eventually take the formable nation decision, which instantly and without any political power makes them our core. So I actually really want them to say no. Denmark said yes in the first one. Okay, no problem. Denmark is at war with Iceland. I don't know how they're going to say yes. This time they said no. I don't know if it's because they're at war or there is some randomness. That's fantastic. I want them to say war. No, I want to attack them. I don't want to pay political power, and I don't want a timer to core them. Really, really odd focus setup here, in my opinion. So here we are. We want to reform the Kalmar Union, and so I need to control and own. Norway is currently on a timer ticking down, but Denmark I'm going to be able to take right away. And in that corner, you can kind of see that Vapsid, Estonia, has taken over Finland, so we will have to take them by force, which is just fine by me. As we continue, now that Denmark has said no, there's no point in taking future focuses. We're just going to take them out. We have built up our army. It's October 1938. We're actually pretty powerful, so we're just going to blow right through Denmark. Marines are where it's at, and Denmark can't put up much of a fight. We naval invade all around them. We do have some of Norway's factories because they are our puppet. And then we need to naval invade Iceland as well. They were at war with Denmark. They put up a little bit of fight. They got mountainous territory, but land all over the island. And now we've taken them out. So once the timer for Norway completes, then we can restore the Kalmar Union. Again, if we'd gone to war with Norway, we would just restore it as soon as we defeat Norway and Denmark. All right, we're going to open up looking pretty strong now, 18 mils. Let's pick out some of our Baltic neighbors. We have a focus that lets us attack them without war justification. So our own world tension contribution is pretty small so far, which is kind of cool because it lets us open up. We can justify it on one more country if we want to without getting guarantees. So let's take out that country, and that country that we're going to justify in is Netherlands. Netherlands is a very key spot because of the Dutch East Indies. So in this case, because our world tension contribution was so small, nobody had justified. I think we just barely hit the 10% when our justification was finishing. So we land on the Netherlands, we take the Dutch East Indies, we take the Netherlands, and that effectively, I'd say, ends the run in the sense we now have rubber, we have oil. I mean, it doesn't end the run, but we are extremely powerful. Germany wants to join us in a faction. I'm not really sure how the game mechanics work would cause us to do that. We chose a focus earlier that made them our friends, but that's cool because this gives us a land route into the Netherlands when later on we want to attack into Belgium and France. All right, now it's time to take on Vapsid, Estonia. Now they are in the Italian faction, so Italy goes to war with us. Italy cannot help them at all. There's just no way they can get up there. Meanwhile, Japan's got a war with the Soviet Union, so there's the fall of Vladivostok. And we can very, very quickly take out Estonia, and now we can take Finland, which allows us to core them and proclaim Nordic unity. I think this is an achievement, like forming Scandinavia, or it might have been the Kalmar Union. Well, on to Belgium, and they were actually guaranteed by Switzerland, which was in the Allies. So the Allies are at war with me, and this is a good way to naval invade UK. This is kind of an arms against terror naval invasion where we head in from the northwest and from the east. I don't have naval superiority now, but I will get it. My subs will eventually attack, and just 1 hour is all it takes for Britain to move its fleet someplace else. And then here come the Marines. So it's a very kind of odd invasion of the UK where we attack from the north and the northeast and then head south into London. But UK here in 1939, they've got troops, I guess, throughout the world and not much at home, so we can defeat them pretty quickly. And we've got the peace conference. France did not join the Allies. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe because the UK was heading communist, but now we're just rolling. Any chance of failure is long past due. Because Switzerland was in the Allies, we're actually able to run through our faction members. We never called them into war, either Austria, Hungary, or Germany. And now we have a land border with Italy. I didn't think this one out through too. I didn't think it'd be this easy to push through Italy, so I've got like 12 divisions or 10 divisions actually going around the Horn of Africa to attack in from the Suez. Oh, here it is. Italy almost closed the Suez on me. I got 2 troops, little baby troops, just fighting to doing their best. If they can't hold the Suez, we'll have to attack up from Africa. But meanwhile, we're moving our way through Italy, even with all the snow and stuff. These are very powerful divisions. I think I really underestimated how powerful they are. And small divisions, controlled carefully, can overpower Italy's divisions. They're easily twice as powerful as ours. They've got tanks, but our little divisions are able to move around. And let's tell them to go after France. France will also join Italy's faction. It does not save them. I think that's like a 6-day war, 5-day war, as we just blow right through France and get the capitulation. It would have been nice if they joined the Allies. It could have taken their fleet a little early, but it's fine. And now, finally, the 10 divisions that crossed around South Africa are finally able to invade into Italy, which just makes it just a little bit easier to capitulate them. And it looks like we're going to take them before they get the Civil War, which is really, really not... Ah, nice. Nice. I missed this so many times by hours. So we get the Civil War, no big deal. Yugoslavia, meanwhile, decided to become a major. Good for you, buddy. They were in the Italian faction. I think they were actually Italy's puppet. They're a major. I'm not sure that mechanic should actually work that way, but it does. In this run, Yugoslavia was taken out pretty quickly, particularly with our air force, as powerful as it was. Let's go after the Soviet Union next. Or actually, it's not the Soviet Union, it's Russia. And our biggest enemy here is fuel. Most of Russia is on the other side of the world, and we have a core, so we have like a 10-day justification timer. Romania decided to join Russia, but there wasn't a lot of fighting. And it says the Stalinist victory. Okay, I guess Stalin's long since gone. But with a 75% compliance, we're really feeling strong. And we don't have to take that much more to complete this achievement. Let's take out the United States. One, we need to take parts of New Jersey to complete the achievement. But in any case, it's always good to take out the United States. You don't know what interesting things they're going to do. Our army, as usual at this time, is so much more powerful than theirs. So we'll just take them out. We'll naval invade to make things easier as well. Somehow Mexico got involved with a war earlier on, so I can actually walk into San Diego or Southern California and Texas. Compliance government, collaboration governments running on in the United States as well, so we get a relatively quick and painless take of them. All right, You know who's up next. That's right. We kick them out of, or actually we leave the faction, and then we use the justification we had from the Baltics just to instantly justify on, I think it's Lithuania, and then wait for Germany to join. And then here we go. I don't know why this is so entertaining to me to watch. I don't rarely see this. Actually, I rarely see this. It's 1941. Germany and Austria-Hungary have got nothing. They haven't fought anywhere, but we take our two last states so we can proclaim the restoration of the Swedish Empire, which is the first step we need to become the great leader, and then we can proclaim the Eternal Nordic Empire. All right, that's it. That was the goal of this video. Thank you, the user JJ, to suggesting it. It was a little bit of fun. Actually, it was a lot of fun, I should say. It was a lot of fun. I don't normally do this. This achievement, because it is a world conquest, we've completed Danzig Queen as well. And as we finish off Germany, again, it's not necessary for the request, but we could easily take the Puppet Japan achievement, which is Caramelldansen or something, because at this point we control almost all of the world. Well, that was a lot of fun. Sweden is kind of fun to play with, and I don't normally play the Monarchist path. So again, thank you again for suggesting it. I hope this will help you if you're thinking of going for this achievement on historical. It's relatively easy. I should say it's not that difficult. And I hope you have a great day, and just thank you very much for watching.